Hey guys, welcome back. So today we're gonna do a first impression review. This is not a new foundation. It's the Ulta Beauty HD Soft Focus Liquid Foundation. I am very excited to try this. This is my first product from Ulta Beauty that I try, like from their actual brand. Let's go ahead and look up what it's supposed to do for our skin. It offers a beautiful silky texture and provides medium buildable coverage that lasts all day. Formulated to include a moisture balancing system and prevents the loss of elasticity, which helps reduce visible signs of skin aging. It helps blur the appearance of wrinkles and fine lines. The price of this is $14 and you get 1 fluid ounce, just the standard. It comes in 10 shades ranging from light cool, which is the color that I chose, to deep warm, if I'm not mistaken, which is a deep warm with yellow undertone. So I like how the website gives you the undertone of each foundation. The next shade after this one, which is light warm, is really yellow, so just keep that in mind. The light cool shade leans more toward the neutral side. I saw no pink, and the light warm is like full on yellow. The packaging is just simple gray. It doesn't look too fancy, but it does have the ingredients listed on the back, which I thought was really helpful. What I'm going to do is apply primer on half of my face and no primer on the other. It says it's got dimethicone and glycerin, which is supposed to make foundation last longer and kind of sit like a primer. It did not specify that it has a built-in primer, but I just want to see how it works without it. For half of my face, I'm using the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I'm picking this side of my face for the primer because I have some extra dryness right here that I want to cover. We are ready for foundation. So on the primed half of my face, I'm going to use my weapon of choice, which is a sponge. I have dry skin. This is the only thing I use for foundation, but I will be using a brush on the other side of my face just to see how it applies. It seems to be like a good consistency, not too thick, not too runny. It definitely feels light when I touch it. So that's one pump. I don't know if it's too much yet. Let's see how that blends out. So as you can see, the foundation went on pretty sheer with the sponge. It's not giving me medium coverage, it's giving me light coverage. Let's see on the other side with a brush. Again, one pump. And I am using a Sigma Angled Kabuki F84 brush. I definitely got a little bit more coverage with the brush, but it's not really that big of a difference. I mean, I just don't think it's a medium coverage. I am going to add more, a second layer. Keep in mind, I've already used 2 pumps of this. I feel like with that second layer, it just built up to a medium coverage. I don't know if I can get this to full, but I do like the feel of it. It feels smooth. It's not tacky or weird on my skin. It dried down. It's not giving me the coverage that I want, especially around the nose. Like, I went in with additional product, but it's not really laying right on that little corner. Let me add a little more. I'm not liking the fact that I have to use so much product so far. See, the sponge is just sopping up the product. It's not doing what I need it to do. I don't think it's up to foundation standards. It's great for people who don't have a lot to cover because it's very comfortable, but I mean, it's barely there. I don't think this is a medium coverage at all. I would say this is a light buildable coverage. Sorry guys, for some reason I didn't notice that my camera wasn't recording. I'm in the middle of applying my concealer using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I have light ivory and light medium beige. This one's a little pinker, this one's a little bit more yellow. I always use a sponge for underneath my eye. I can't use anything else. So before I spot conceal on my face, I'm going to set this really quick. I'm using the Kat Von D Translucent Powder. This has been my go-to for setting underneath my eyes. I don't really bake per se. I kind of add plenty underneath, but I wipe it off right away. I don't let it sit. The concealer blended just fine on top of the foundation. It didn't do anything weird. It didn't pick up the foundation. You know, it's not looking too flattering around my nose, just as a heads up. So I expected to have been able to achieve full coverage with this foundation, but since it's not giving me the coverage that I need, I'm going to spot conceal, and I usually use the Bare Minerals Original Foundation to spot conceal. I just apply a little bit on the area. I don't use a brush. To set everything in place, I'm going to go in with the Clinique Perfectly Real Compact Powder. It does have some color, but it's just meant to even everything out. It doesn't sit heavily on the skin. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my makeup, and I'll be right back to let you know how everything blended in. Back with my full face of makeup. As you can see, everything is looking okay. Everything blended better on the primed side of my face. I had a little bit of trouble with my contour powder and my blush on this side. It was a little bit patchy, wasn't blending well. It's not accentuating the pores, but it's not really blurring them either that I can tell. Okay, so it is now 8:43 a.m. I'm just gonna wear this foundation for as long as I possibly can. I'll keep checking back in with you guys so you can see how it's wearing, and then at the end of the night with my final thoughts. Okay guys, first check-in of the day. It is now 12:29 p.m. I've had this foundation on for about 4.5 hours. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see up close. Alright, so here's the skinny. I am going to ignore this little thing right here because this is where I topped it off with the Bare Minerals foundation. So whatever is happening here, it's its own thing. It is not looking very flattering around the nose area. You can see all of the crustiness right here, and it's kind of sitting weirdly on the corners of the nose. It's not accentuating pores, but also not blurring them. The side with no primer looks a little bit weird and patchy where the bronzer and blush went on. And it is breaking apart a little bit on my chin in addition to my nose area. So what I'm going to do is touch up with a little powder, same powder I used earlier, just a little bit around the nose because that's where we got the fading going on. So I'm going to keep wearing this foundation and I'll check back later with an update. Alright, we're checking back in. It is now 5:12 p.m. I've been wearing this foundation for about 9 hours. But let's zoom you guys in. Let's get you closer so you can see what is happening here. So take a look for yourself. The foundation totally broke apart around this area. It's just completely faded. I think it's pretty much all gone. It actually feels dehydrated, my nose. I don't think it aids in hydration like it's labeled to do. Comparing one side to the other, obviously foundation is holding up a lot better on the prime side than on the other side. Even my blush and bronzer are just looking patchy. It did settle in my laugh lines, faded on my chin area. Again, I'm gonna touch up with a little bit of powder. I feel like it's pointless to touch up my nose at this point because it completely faded, but we're gonna do it anyway. I don't think I'm gonna wear this foundation for much longer, but I'll be back in a little bit with my final thoughts. Alright, final check-in of the night. It is now 7:41 p.m. I've been wearing this foundation for about 11.5 hours, something like that. I'm gonna have to pass. It is just not my cup of tea. It is not what I was expecting from this foundation, and there are some claims that it makes that I just don't agree with. I don't think this is a medium buildable coverage. I feel like right off the bat it's more like a light buildable coverage. Can you get it to full? I don't know. I just think that for 14 bucks I can get something better that works better for my skin. If you have normal skin, I feel like you would enjoy this. For oily skin, I'm not sure because it does have that luminosity to it. I had to touch up. Every time I checked in with you guys, I had to touch up because, I mean, it was just breaking down more and more. At the 4.5 hour mark, I think was my first check-in, it was already fading around my chin area and around my nose area. I just think there are better foundations out there that can last longer and look better on the skin. So those are my thoughts on the Ulta Beauty HD Soft Focus Foundation. Leave me a comment down below if you've tried this foundation, if it works for you. If it doesn't, how do you make it work? If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you have not already and click on that little notification bell just to know when I post. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye!